Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me on another episode of Terraria. In this video, I will be defeating the Lunatic Cultist, and after that, I will attempt to defeat all 4 Celestial Pillars. And I will eventually face Moonlord. I have a really good strategy to defeat the Lunatic Cultist, so I do pretty well in this boss fight. But before I get into that, I wanted to briefly mention, again, the old date of this recording, along with my previous videos. I have recorded and fought the Lunatic Cultist a very long time ago. That is the earliest recording in this video, in which that happened on October 2nd of 2022. There have been a lot of changes to Terraria, so that is why my video appears to be outdated. It is. I also bring that up as I have a big project, as usual, that I have done, but I have done it about 6 months ago. I think I'm the first person to have done this specific thing, so I really want to get that video out. But the problem is, that video is far later on in my series, and if I release that video now, it will spoil everything that I have done. That is why there is such a large influx of Terraria videos. I really want to get that one video out. I also want to briefly mention that life has been crazy, and there is a lot going on. I'm not fully sure what lies in the future for me or my channel, but I am hoping I can get back into uploading on a semi-regular basis. I have a few plans for content changes that I want to work on, such as making shorter videos to upload during the long projects, or when life gets to be too much and I can't work on videos, but nothing is certain right now. I miss making videos, and I hope that the gaps in videos doesn't come off the wrong way. I unfortunately always have a lot going on, and I don't have as much time to make videos like I used to. On to the events of this video. I don't know exactly what to say for the pillars. I unfortunately had a pillar appear right next to the dungeon, so I never really got a chance to recover from the Lunatic Cultist fight. At times they are fairly easy to complete, and at other times they had me very close to death, more than I would like to admit. It's a good challenge, and I enjoyed completing the event, but it was also slow at times. I think the most difficult one was the Vortex pillar for me. But it's just a matter of learning how each pillar works, and from that point it gets easier. There is a lot of invasion-type events in Terraria, and the Celestial Pillars are another example of this. Due to the fact that I have already shown many invasion events, I try to keep future ones brief, but I know this event is especially important. It's just unfortunate that there isn't too much to comment on. The biggest thing is the use of hazard placing traps, such as the Rainbow Gun and Nimbus Rod. I use those 2 weapons, and I also use the Frost Hydra Staff to create a very offensive area that doesn't even account for the damage that I am dealing. In addition to this, I should have used the Clinger Staff. I should have also used this for the other invasion events, really all of them, as this is a powerful item that creates another environmental hazard, a wall of cursed flames that deals high knockback. Very useful for invasion events.
Little man,
I have one.
Coming for you!
I just didn't think to use it. Now that we're moving on to it, the Stardust pillar was enjoyable and comedic in how the star cells are extra difficult to defeat in master mode, as they usually end up regrowing before they are killed, unless they are individually focused. This made ending the pillar difficult. I know I could teleport away, but that is for cowards. I am untruthful in that. I wanted to kill them all so I could collect all of the Stardust fragments without risk of dying, or feeling like I missed some. So I killed the remaining enemies to collect the loot in peace. It did help in the event progress, however, as I could repeatedly kill the star cell, which would add a point to the event progress, wait for it to regrow, and then kill it again for another point. Placing a star cell banner would make it even easier to do that. I occasionally would place one down, but I found that staying in one spot was not a good idea, at least not for me. as the enemies moved too quickly to kill them before they reached me, and they would swarm in this pillar due to most enemies summoning other enemies, as this pillar is focused on the summoning aspect of Terraria. But I already managed to get the shield down, and I'm about to defeat this pillar, so very shortly I will be moving on to the solar pillar. After the Stardust pillar and the almost never-ending Star Cell War, the last pillar I have to face is the Vortex pillar. As mentioned, I forgot to record me defeating the solar pillar, but I did a recreation of it, which, not to sound unhumble, but I did an amazing job recreating it. Speaking from experience, the actual event was at least 99% similar to the recreated footage I made. It was almost an exact depiction of what actually happened. Solar pillar aside, as the Vortex pillar is the last pillar, after this, I will be facing Moon Lord. I must of course survive the slime rain that is happening at the exact same time. Vortex pillar aside, the slime rain was the event that almost did me in, but I made it out okay. The Vortex pillar has enemies which deal high DPS, but I was able to find a spot in the terrain that greatly worked to my benefit. I placed all of the traps on one side of me, minus the aforementioned Clinger staff that I should have used, and focused my weapons and summons on the other side. This was extremely effective at killing the event enemies while protecting me from almost all damage sources. After that, it was focusing everything on the pillar and hunkering down until the remaining enemies were defeated, and I could collect all of the Vortex fragments. With the last pillar soon to be defeated, in the next episode I will face the final boss, Moon Lord. As for this episode, thank you all so much for joining me on another episode of Terraria. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I will hopefully see you all in my next video. So, if I will, see you there. I'll be waiting. Moon Lord, the final boss of Terraria.